Hey everybody, and welcome to my studio. This time is not for the Fun Fitness Friday, but as you can see with all the equipment, but I have it all set up because I want to go through 12 different exercises with you for pickleball. I just started with a new client who wanted to improve their fitness so they don't get injured on the court because thousands of injuries happen every year because of people not being prepared for pickleball, basically. And it's normally in the 60 and up category, which is the most popular age groups for pickleball, but there's definitely injuries of the lower ages as well, just because of just lack of conditioning. So just remember, getting into shape for any sport just takes a little bit of movement, a little bit of your time, and consistency, basically. So the reason why I'm holding on to the tennis racket is because they don't have a paddle ball racket, not yet, because I just started with the client, but a tennis racket from when I was training a tennis client. So the carryover from tennis to like from any racket sport is pretty much the same. You're reaching, you're swinging, you're internally rotating, externally, you're opening up the hips, you're closing the hips, you're squatting down. You're basically doing every movement that the body can do in one game. And if you're not ready for it, there's a huge chance of injury with pulling a muscle, straining, even tearing. I don't really want to say that, but it does happen because the injuries in the what is it called emergency room have it goes up like thousands a year. So let's try to lower that number down. So I'm just gonna put my racket down. I'm not gonna throw it like I did the ball. Anyway, so I'm gonna quickly go through the exercises. There's 12 of them, so I want to make sure that I get them all in during this one video. If you have any questions on any of them, please send me a note, whether it's just a personal note through email or a comment through the video. That's fine, doesn't matter. I will answer you, and then we'll go from there. If you want to have a consultation to go over this a little bit more detail so that you know you're doing it correctly, I would rather that than you just take a couple of minutes, try an exercise, and then go for it and actually have a chance of injury before you even hit the court. So anyway, so these are not in any specific order. These are just movement based. And so let's start at the top and work down my list. My list is actually right behind the camera. So there you go. All right. So side lunges with rotation and overhead reach. So let's just move my mat out of the way. So a side lunge is you're going to big step out to the side and bend your knee. So when you bend your knee, make sure that you're not just bending your knee this way, you're sticking your bum out and going down. What I like to say is a great depth for your lunge is you get into your squat, you stick your leg out. That's a good depth for your lunge. This leg drives it up. Your trailing leg is always straight. So land and cushion down and then drive to come back up. So just the lunge. So if you had your racket, you're lunging down, you're going up. Adding to that, you got your rotation and your overhead reach to add that much more to it. So we're working in multiple planes at one time, basically. And if you've seen my other videos, you know I like to work on the planes of motion. So we're going to lunge, and then we're going to take this arm or the other arm, and you're going to rotate up and come back up. If you rotate the other way, that's fine. So you can actually alternate whichever way you rotate and overhead reach. So we're getting that arm over the head, which comes in handy for pretty much everything during every day. Nice healthy shoulder, but nice and smooth rotation, never anything jerky and sporadic. Let's just go nice and smooth, nice easy movements just to get them in. Okay, lateral hurdles. Um, when I used to teach my classes, my daughter used to help me out, and so I called this the Logie Shuffle. So she'd run, and then you step out, run, step out, run, step out. So that's just conditioning you to move quick to whichever direction you needed to go. But if you have anything to step over, like I'm just going to use my yoga blocks here, you can step over, tap, tap. Okay, bad example. I'm using socks, and on this floor, it is slippery. So I was going to put my sneakers on, but I thought, you know what? That's okay. You can call these the 1, 2, 3s. So step out to the side, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, pause and come back. And then eventually you can go a little quicker. And then eventually you're not even really moving your torso very much. You're not coming all the way over. You're going to stay in the center over and then kick the ball, whatever it is. Anyway, live video. Okay, so from that, we can get into push-ups. So giving your legs a bit of a rest, going into push-ups, anywhere from the floor to a countertop. Doesn't matter as long as you're in a nice straight line from your shoulders, hips, and knees. Nice straight line that way to get the maximum core benefit. And doing modified from the knees, it's not a bad thing, but I prefer changing the level of intensity, but going full body, because then you're still using your knee joint, your ankle joint, basically all the muscles in your feet while you're doing it. So the main objective when you're doing that, as I said, arms are nice and straight to start with, body's nice and straight. Lower yourself down as far as you can, and then push. I was going to say the object, whatever you're doing push-ups on, focus on pushing that away from you. It's a mind muscle link thing. I can go over that some other time, but push the object away, which will allow you to recruit more muscles to do the same job. As you start getting tired, if you can't really get up, you can just put your foot in front and get your own natural spotter. But don't do this so it's so easy that, it's like whatever. You want to have some tension in there. You want to make sure that there's enough tension that you feel it across your chest and shoulders to build up some extra strength. All right, rowing. So that's the pushing muscles. Now we're going to get the pulling muscles. Now there's a couple of different ways. One is obviously using an exercise band, pulling it back, making sure you're bracing. As if someone's going to walk up and whack you in the belly, you can still talk and breathe, but your core is nice and braced. You're going to pull back with the shoulder blades, pulling back, following up with the elbow, and then that's it. Go back as far as that will happen, and then that's it. If you decide to go back any further, then it's the arm and shoulder doing the work, and I don't want you to externally rotate working inside the shoulder joint. We want the bigger muscles on the outside with stabilizing of the inside muscles. So pull, and then that's it. I'm in a nice straight line. No matter where the band is, my arm will always be in line with the band, right? Now, that can be done with that. If you don't have an exercise band, I'm sure you have a towel. So grab your towel. One thing I like about the towel is when you grip it, it's got some, to get all technical on you, here's some squishiness to it. So that when you grab it, you're also working on hand strength, wrist strength, basically all the way up to your neck, right from your knuckles. So grabbing it here, give it a squeeze, pull apart as if you're trying to rip the towel apart, and the movement, pulling back. So when you're pulling back, I'm not just taking my arms and doing this while I row. I'm doing this. So my elbows are going back, my shoulder blades are squeezing in together, and that's going to give you the maximum benefit. If you just do this and you feel it in your arms, the backs of your arms, your triceps, that's because you're trying to extend your arms. You're only using your arms to do the movement. I want shoulder blades. Bring your chest up to meet the towel as you pull back. So out for a nice stretch, pull it back. You should feel this all around your shoulder blades. There's 14 muscles that attach in and around your shoulder blade to keep it nice and stable and strong. So use all of them. All right, so that's that. There's dumbbells as well. And the movement for dumbbells, exactly the same. Doesn't matter the modality that you're using. This one's gravity, squeezing the shoulder blades. And notice my forearms are straight up and down from the floor because that's the resistance, it's gravity. This is not a dumbbell row. Yes, the movement's very similar, but gravity takes the dumbbell to the floor, and that's my shoulders and arms doing the work. So doing that is a waste of time for a back exercise. All right. Now, some mobility. One I really like is called the corkscrew. Your arms are out to the side. We're going to take my right hand, turn palm up, so my thumb goes up. My left hand, my thumb is going down, my palm going behind me, and I'm going to, what I like to say is you're going to turn your palm over to look, see what's in your palm, and get a little bit of a side bend. So this shoulder's internally rotating, coming up as much as possible. You're going to feel your scapula moving, and this arm is externally rotating. So I'm getting internal and external, plus I'm getting all the muscles in and around my rib cage moving. Breathe in nice and smooth. Try and get nice, easy movement. Now, if you have one of my sticks, I'm not going to totally go over this, but it's fun to do. But you can take it, internally rotate, and out you go. And then we're going to externally rotate when you come out. So this could be in a totally different video. I just like doing it. So anyway, let's move on here. All right, Cuban press. Actually, I should have grabbed and kept it. Cuban press with the stick. Good starting point to know where your hands need to be. If the stick is resting on the top of your head, that's not part of the exercise. My elbows are at 90 degrees, so that's a good position to be in. So from here, I'm going to internally rotate. My elbows are staying in the same position. Then I'm going to come back up, and then I'm going to extend up. So down, internally rotate as far as you can. If your elbows come down here, less and less rotation through the shoulder joint, and you're just reaching. So try and keep the elbows up. Doesn't matter if you only get to here. That's a good start. And chances are, if you are only getting to there, you force it, your shoulders are going to come up and your shoulder blades are going to elevate. And we want to try not to have that happen. We want to keep the shoulder blades down. So up, extend, down, internal, back up, and extend. All right, so that's nice and basic. It's good for that whole slamming it down, getting that internal rotation. We can add some resistance to it in other exercises for more of a resistance training session for pickleball as opposed to more of a mobility session, which this is mainly what this is. All right, moving on. Where are we here? Quick step or jump rope. So quick step, you can have any target. We'll use just the yoga block, and it's just tapping. All right, so this is basically just getting you moving wherever. So it's just as little time on your toes, on your feet, so you're not stepping like this doing it. It's in the name. It's called a quick step. So that way, if you're getting ready, you can quickly step. You're getting used to moving all over the place. So you can do a little bit of a dance, get some good music going on, or you can get a ball in front of you and tap that. Jump rope. Jump rope is awesome. If you have availability of having a jump rope, as far as I'm concerned, providing it doesn't get tangled up in your other equipment, is absolutely amazing. You only need to jump the height of the thickness of the rope, and that's it. So if you're able to do that, huge benefit, not even just for pickleball or racket sports, endurance and strength through the wrist, the hands, the shoulders, up through the neck. You get the bouncing, get the lymphatic system going. It's great for the ankles, great for foot strength. I just love jump rope. But anyway, we'll leave that for another video. All right, moving on to staggered stance and or half kneeling thoracic rotation. All right, so thoracic is basically the rib cage. So if you can have the stick or a dowel rod resting on your shoulders, great. If you can't, I like crossing my arms and just holding it here. They're right on the front of my deltoids, which are basically the shoulder cap here. But if you can, be up here, because then you are externally rotating, getting a nice opening stretch for the chest and shoulders. Great for posture. So staggered stance. So one foot in front of the other. If you have a little bit of a balance issue, try to remember, stay away from tandem, which is one foot in front of the other like that. Go wider, about shoulder width. Then you're basically just going to rotate. Nice and simple, basic simple, like this. It's always the best type of exercise. All right. So once you do that, you can come to the front and then you can lean down and up. So I'm rotating, and then I'm leaning down as far as you can. Again, don't worry about if you can only get to here because of your flexibility. Eventually, you're going to be able to do it with your legs straight and go all the way to the floor. Whichever range of motion you have, that's what you're starting with. Don't worry about what other people can do. Only concern yourself with where you are now and where you want to be. So you can continue all the way up if you want and just rotate, lean, and lean. So you're getting a huge amount of range of motion going on through your whole body. And the same thing if you're doing it half kneeling. You're just kneeling down on a pillow or something. Same thing. Rotate, come up and down, rotate, same thing. Amazing for flexibility and mobility through your whole upper body. All right, so we're going into the foot slide with a forward reach. Now, foot slide, now I have socks on this floor, which is perfect for it. Now you can do it with holding onto a stick. You can hold onto nothing, actually. I'm just going to put this here for now. Hopefully it stays. And all you're doing is sliding your foot back, reaching as far forward as you can, and then coming back up again. This is what I would say is the ideal to work up to. If you can't get that extreme range, don't worry about it. Step back and here. Even if you don't have the balance, make sure your feet are wide and reach and then come back in. So whatever you have, if you don't have the forward reach, but you can get your leg back, my body's in a nice straight line, so that's a bonus. The further down you go and come up, the more you're going to strengthen the leg that you're standing on. And then you get better balance, better reach, flexibility, all that sort of fun stuff. All right. Squatting hip wobbles. This is a great warm up. I give this to my golf clients as well. So wobble is basically just doing this. All right. And again, you can, a little dance into it, get some good music going on. Anyway, move your knees side to side. So when I'm doing this, my ankles, my feet, because I'm just in socks, my knees are moving, my hips are moving, a little mobility through the lower back while I squat. All right. So chubby checker comes to mind. Sorry, I was just thinking of doing the twist. But anyway, so wobble side to side and all the way up and down. Yeah, so that, and you could also just get into doing some circles. There's a professional soccer player that used to go to a gym I worked out of, and this is one thing he'd used to start his routine with every single day. And then that's where I initially learned about this. Gets the knees moving. It's just a great exercise to start with. All right, bobbing bird. So everybody might know of that little bird that's on the bar that tips like that when going into your drink. Well, that's where I got this exercise name from. So it's basically an anterior bob this way. My leg is going up behind me as a counterbalance, and then coming back up again. The sticks I'm using if I need them. If you don't need them, don't use them. Have your hand on a wall, whatever it takes, but don't rely on the wall. Try and rely on your body to do the work and use the wall if you need it. The reason why I like using the sticks is because I still have force into the ground, so I can catch my balance that way, but it's moving around, so I'm not 100% reliant on the stick. So it's kind of midway between holding onto a wall that's not moving, and you can totally fake it out and do great exercise and not have to worry about stability. Or you can move to the stick, or eventually moving to not using them at all, right? Oh, actually, I'm using them for balance, but anyway. So it's just down and up, and then you can modify that however you want to make it more fun. Now, what I like doing, I think I have this. This is the one that I have in my book, Flipping Good Exercise book, available on my website. Anyway, all right. This, I'm excited to show you. Dorsiflex the foot, so you're lifting your toes up, so you get a good stretch to the ankle. I'm pushing down a little bit with my right arm, nice and straight. My left arm is going wherever you need it for balance. And then I'm pushing and resisting while I bob forward and then come back up again. Because of the extra tension, you're going to get stability strength through the shoulder, all through your entire core and into the hip. It's a great exercise. Moving on to the last, but not least, exercise, the standing hip combo. Now, again, sticks can be used for balance. Anything can be used for balance. Same assistance applies. These are for assisting, not for the main purpose of the balance exercise. You want your body to do the stabilizing. So anyway, a couple of different moves in this one. So we go to a crane, knee as high as you can up to the hip joint, if not even higher. When you go higher, there's multiple extra benefits to that. Then we're going to open up to the stork turn, internally rotate. So you're leading with the heel to come up, and then you're extending your leg back. So when I extend back, I'm not leaning forward. I'm staying up, because when I kick my heel back, I really want to squeeze my glute. And if I lean forward to get my heel up, you might not emphasize your glute. So I'm doing that. I squeeze the glute nice and hard. And then you come back around as if you're putting your foot up and over something. And then come around to a figure four. And then you get into the figure four and go into a bit of a squat. Squat down. Nice, huge stretch rolling through the hip area. If anybody deals with sciatica, I'm sure you already know about this one. It's a great stretch for the inside of the hip joint. And then come back up to a crane, stork turn, mule kick is what I call it. And then come back around again and then in. So you can alternate or do all one side first. Might get a little tired doing that, but I'm sure you'll figure it out as you go what's best for you. So Please go through all these exercises as you're watching the video. There's going to be on my YouTube page as well. But when you're going through the exercises, pause it, rewind it a little bit, whatever you need to do, and try and learn the exercises as efficiently as you can before adding any resistance or going beyond what you're totally comfortable with. Being uncomfortable during your exercises is more of a benefit than just opening and closing, just moving. If you're looking at adding extra benefit to what you can already do now. If you're just doing it to loosen up the arm and shoulder and you want to just move around, by all means, doesn't matter. But if you're trying to add strength to the movement, you need to have a little bit of discomfort in there to get the maximum out of it. All right. So again, if you have any questions whatsoever on any of these exercises, please do not hesitate to contact me. They're either in my book, Flip a Good Exercise book, or you can just contact me and I will either send you a quick note or we can set up a consultation. Whether if you're in here in the Burlington area and you want to set up a personal time to come into my studio or virtual, I do virtual as well. And we can go from there. All right. So thanks again. And until next time, keep moving.